Hello, everyone. James is here. Welcome to Easy English Talks podcast.
And I'm Emily.
So today, we're going to be diving deep into something I bet a lot of you out there are thinking about.
Yeah.
Which app is the best for learning English in 2025?
Right.
There's so many out there.
Oh, there are so many.
It's really overwhelming.
It can be really overwhelming. And it's not about finding the one best app for everyone.
Right.
It's about finding the best app for you. We've looked at the top 10 English learning apps.
Okay.
And we're breaking down each one so you can figure out which one is best for your own learning style.
Think of us as your personal app reviewers.
Exactly.
Here to help you make the best choice.
Ah.
So let's get started. We had to set some criteria for choosing these top 10 apps, right?
Of course.
What were we looking at?
Well, we wanted to make sure we had something for everyone, no matter their skill level.
Right.
Some apps are great for beginners.
Yeah.
Others are great for more advanced learners. We also looked at what skills each app focused on. Some are all about vocabulary.
Others emphasize speaking practice and so on.
Okay, so first up is the app practically everyone's heard of, Duolingo.
Yes.
What makes this one stand out?
Well, Duolingo has really tapped into how our brains love rewards. It turns learning into a game with points and levels and even cartoon characters.
Yeah.
This makes it really fun and motivating, especially for beginners.
Yeah, that makes sense. If it feels like a game, you're less likely to get bored and quit.
Exactly. And the lessons are super short, like 5 to 10 minutes, perfect for those with busy schedules.
All right, so if you like quick, fun learning, Duolingo might be for you.
Yes.
But what if you're more interested in learning vocabulary in real-life situations?
Then Memrise might be a better fit.
Okay.
They use authentic videos of native speakers so you can see how words are actually used in conversations.
Yeah.
And they have this cool explore mode where you can learn about slang and cultural nuances.
So you're not just learning dry vocabulary lists. You're getting a taste of how English is actually spoken in the real world.
That's right.
I like that. Now, like say you're serious about learning English and you're ready to put in the work.
Yeah.
Babbel is known for its comprehensive lessons. They cover everything from vocabulary and grammar to real-life conversation topics.
So it's like a more structured approach compared to Duolingo or Memrise.
Exactly. Think of it like a digital textbook, but more engaging. They even encourage you to set goals and track your progress, which can be super helpful for staying motivated. I would even recommend pairing it with a notebook to jot down new words and grammar rules.
Good tip. So we've got apps for beginners, apps for vocabulary lovers, and apps for the serious learners.
Right.
But what about those who really want to practice talking to native English speakers?
That's where HelloTalk comes in.
Okay.
This app connects you with native English speakers who are learning your language.
Oh, wow.
So you can chat with each other, practicing both languages.
So it's like a language exchange, but through an app.
Exactly.
That's cool. It must feel a lot less intimidating than, say, joining a conversation group in person.
You got it. And it has built-in tools like translation and correction features so you can get feedback on your speaking and writing.
Okay, so HelloTalk lets you practice with real people.
Yes.
But what if you learn best by just immersing yourself in the language, like surrounding yourself with English?
Then you want to check out LingQ.
LingQ.
This app lets you read and listen to authentic content, things like podcasts, books, and articles.
Okay.
You can even choose content based on your interests, whether it's sports or current events or whatever you're into.
So it's like creating your own personalized English course, but with real-world materials. That sounds pretty immersive.
It is. And as you go, you can highlight and save new words, and the app tracks your progress.
We've covered a lot of ground already,
We have.
but we've still got 5 more apps to talk about. Let's move on to one that focuses on something many English learners find challenging: pronunciation.
Yes, ELSA Speak can be a huge help.
Oh.
This app uses artificial intelligence
Right.
to analyze your pronunciation and give you personalized feedback.
I've heard of that. It can pinpoint exactly what sounds you're struggling with, right?
Right, and what's really neat is that it focuses on sounds that are particularly difficult for speakers of your native language.
Okay.
So it's tailored to your individual needs.
All right. Now we're moving on to a source you can always trust for high-quality English learning materials.
That's right, the BBC.
The BBC.
The BBC Learning English app is packed with a variety of resources, from grammar lessons and vocabulary builders to authentic news clips and videos.
And it's all free, right? That's pretty amazing.
Yes.
You're getting access to top-notch content without spending a dime.
Exactly. And they cover a wide range of topics, so there's something for everyone.
Now, for those who learn best through videos, we have FluentU.
Mm,
It's like learning English through your favorite movies and TV shows.
that's a great way to put it. FluentU uses real-world video clips, things like movie trailers, music videos, even inspiring talks,
Wow.
to teach you English in a fun and engaging way.
I've heard they have interactive subtitles, so you can click on any word you don't know and see the definition right there.
Yes, and you can even hear the word pronounced. Plus, FluentU adjusts the difficulty level based on your progress, so you're constantly challenged but never overwhelmed.
Okay, so we have options for visual learners, auditory learners.
Mm-hmm.
What about those who prefer to learn on the go?
Well, if you're someone who's always on the move,
Right.
Pimsleur might be your perfect match.
Pimsleur.
It's an audio-based learning program
Okay.
that focuses on building conversational skills.
So you can listen while you're walking or driving or even doing chores around the house.
Exactly. And they use a technique called spaced repetition, which means you hear words and phrases at increasing intervals.
Okay.
This helps your brain remember them better.
So it's like a workout for your brain, but for language learning.
Right.
I like it.
And finally, we have a classic learning tool that's made its way into the digital world. Flashcards.
Ah, good old Quizlet. I remember using those in school.
Well, now there's an app for it, and it's super versatile.
Okay.
You can create your own flashcards or choose from pre-made sets covering tons of topics. Plus, you can quiz yourself in different ways, play games, and even collaborate with other learners.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about 10 different apps.
Yes.
Each with its own unique strengths and features.
But with so many options, how do you know which app is right for you?
Right.
That's what we'll be discussing in part 2 of this deep dive.
Okay.
Welcome back to Easy English Talks. In the last part, we took you on a whirlwind tour of 10 popular English learning apps.
We covered everything from game-based learning to flashcards and even apps that connect you with native speakers.
But now comes the million-dollar question. How do you choose the right app for your learning journey?
That's right, because what works for one person might not be the best fit for another. We're here to help you narrow it down.
Let's start with the basics. Your current English level. Are you just starting out? Are you somewhere in the middle? Or do you consider yourself more advanced?
Yeah, being honest about your level is key. You don't want to jump into an app that's too difficult and get discouraged.
Exactly. Apps like Duolingo are great for beginners because they start with the basics and gradually increase the difficulty. But if you're already comfortable with the fundamentals, you might prefer something like LingQ,
Right.
which uses authentic content that's more challenging.
Okay, so level's important. What about your goals? What are you hoping to achieve by learning English?
This is crucial. Are you learning for travel? For work? For personal enrichment?
Yeah.
Do you want to be able to hold conversations, read books, or watch movies in English?
Yeah. Different apps have different strengths. If you're focused on speaking, HelloTalk or Pimsleur could be great choices. If you want to build your vocabulary, Memrise or Babbel might be better suited.
And if perfecting your pronunciation is a top priority, ELSA Speak is a fantastic tool.
Yeah.
Think about what you want to accomplish and let that guide your decision.
So we've talked about level and goals, but we also need to consider your personal learning style and preferences.
Yeah,
Not everyone learns the same way.
absolutely. Some people thrive with a structured approach, while others prefer more flexibility.
Right.
Do you enjoy learning through games? Do you like having a set curriculum to follow?
Yeah.
Or do you prefer to explore and discover at your own pace?
Those are all things to think about.
Yeah.
If you love the idea of gamified learning, Duolingo might be right up your alley. But if you prefer a more traditional textbook-style approach, Babbel could be a better fit.
And if you're someone who enjoys immersing yourself in authentic content, LingQ allows you to do that with its library of articles, podcasts, and videos.
Yeah,
It's all about finding what feels most engaging and motivating for you.
great points. And let's not forget the practical considerations like budget and time commitment.
Right. Many apps offer free versions, but they often have limitations.
Right.
Paid subscriptions typically give you access to more features and content. Consider how much you're willing to invest.
Yeah, and be realistic about how much time you can dedicate to learning. Some apps, like Duolingo, are great for squeezing in short bursts of practice throughout the day.
Right.
Others, like Pimsleur, require longer, more focused sessions.
The key is to choose an app that fits seamlessly into your lifestyle.
Right.
Don't set yourself up for failure by choosing an app that demands more time than you can give.
This is a lot to consider, but my biggest takeaway is that it's okay to experiment.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be afraid to try out different apps and see what clicks for you.
Most apps offer free trials or limited free versions.
Yeah.
Take advantage of those. See what features you like, what teaching style resonates with you,
Yeah.
and what fits your schedule best.
Yeah. You might even find that using a combination of apps works best for you. Maybe you use Duolingo for quick vocabulary practice.
Right.
HelloTalk for speaking with native speakers, and ELSA Speak for pronunciation drills.
That's a great point. It's not about finding the one perfect app. It's about building your own personalized language learning toolkit.
So as you're thinking about which app to try, what's one key piece of advice you'd give our listeners?
I would say be honest with yourself about your needs, your goals, and your learning style. Don't get caught up in the hype or choose an app just because it's popular.
Yeah, choose the app that genuinely excites you and fits into your life. And remember, learning English should be enjoyable, not a chore.
Absolutely. And with so many incredible apps out there, there's no reason why it can't be both effective and fun.
Welcome back to Easy English Talks. We've spent the last 2 parts of this deep dive exploring the world of English learning apps.
Mm-hmm.
But apps are just one piece of the puzzle.
That's right. They can be fantastic tools,
Yeah.
but they work best when they're part of a bigger picture. Think of it like this. You wouldn't try to build a house with just a hammer, would you?
Right.
You'd need a whole toolbox.
I see what you mean. So what other tools should we add to our language learning toolbox alongside those apps?
Well, one of the most fundamental tools is reading. Reading exposes you to new words, grammar structures, and different ways of expressing ideas. It's like a workout for your brain, but for your English skills.
So where should we start? Any recommendations?
It really depends on your interests.
Okay.
Find books, articles, or even websites that you genuinely enjoy. If you're interested in history, pick up a historical novel.
Right.
If you love cooking, find a cookbook in English.
Okay.
The key is to make it enjoyable so you'll stick with it.
And what about all those new words we come across while reading? Should we stop and look up every single one?
Not necessarily.
Right.
Sometimes you can figure out the meaning from the context.
Right.
But if a word keeps popping up
Yeah.
or you're really stumped, don't be afraid to use a dictionary or a translator.
Okay.
Building your vocabulary is essential for improving your understanding.
All right. Reading's covered.
Yeah.
What about listening? I know a lot of English learners struggle with understanding spoken English.
That's completely normal.
Yeah.
Listening takes practice. It's like any other skill. A great way to improve is by immersing yourself in English audio content. Watch movies and TV shows.
Right.
But this time, try turning off the subtitles
Oh.
and see how much you can understand.
That sounds challenging.
Yeah,
But I guess it would force me to really pay attention to the spoken language.
exactly.
Right.
And you can also listen to podcasts. There are podcasts on practically every topic imaginable, so
really?
find something that piques your interest.
Okay.
The BBC Learning English app we talked about earlier even has podcasts designed specifically for English learners.
So we've got reading and listening covered.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, the ultimate goal for many English learners is to speak confidently and fluently.
Yes.
Any tips for overcoming that fear of speaking?
The best way to overcome that fear is to practice, practice, practice.
Right.
And remember, it's okay to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone makes mistakes when they're learning something new. The important thing is to keep trying and not let fear hold you back.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
But where can we find opportunities to practice speaking?
Well, if you can, try to connect with native English speakers.
Right.
Look for language exchange groups in your area or try online platforms like HelloTalk, which we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
You can chat with people from all over the world and practice your speaking skills in a relaxed, informal setting.
And if finding native speakers is a challenge, what are some ways we can practice on our own?
Don't underestimate the power of talking to yourself.
Really?
Seriously, it can be really helpful to practice out loud, even if you're just talking to the mirror.
Yeah.
Describe your day, explain something you're learning about, or even pretend you're having a conversation with someone.
That's a great tip. I'm definitely going to try that.
Good.
It feels a lot less intimidating than talking to a real person, especially when you're just starting out.
Right. And you can also record yourself speaking and then listen back to identify areas where you can improve your pronunciation or fluency. It's like having your own personal language coach.
So to wrap things up, You've given us some fantastic advice on how to supercharge our English learning journey.
Absolutely. Remember, it's all about combining the right tools, finding what works for you, and being consistent.
And don't get discouraged if you don't see results overnight. Learning a language takes time and effort.
But it's an incredibly rewarding journey.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to communicate in English opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
And remember, you're not alone on this journey. There's a huge community of English learners out there who are going through the same challenges and celebrating the same victories.
Connect with other learners, share your experiences, and support each other. Learning together makes the process much more enjoyable.
Well said. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the world of English learning.
It was my pleasure. I wish all our listeners the best of luck on their language learning adventures.
And don't forget to subscribe and share the video with your friends. Bye, and see you next time. Bye-bye.